The brother of convicted murderer Chris Dawson has clashed with members of the media outside court. Paul Dawson emerged from the court to find a scrum of reporters and camera operators. As he walked away, Paul was jostled into a cameraman.LYNETTE DAWSON family reaction. Still need to bring her home. A police officer had to step in after he pushed off the cameraman. Paul then shook his finger and shouted at the media before walking off. Chris and Paul Dawson are identical twins who both played rugby league for the Newtown Jets. They both became PE teachers on the northern beaches of Sydney. Chris Dawson was found guilty of murdering his wife Lynette, 40 years after she vanished. Live updates and reaction: Chris Dawson murder trial verdict. Paul and his brother Peter were in court to support their brother. Chris Dawson's lawyer Greg Walsh said an appeal was probable. Mr. Chris Dawson has always asserted and still does his absolute innocence of the crime he has been convicted, Walsh said. The 5-hour verdict handed down today came after a 2-month trial. Chris Dawson was immediately handcuffed and taken into custody after the guilty verdict. He will be taken to Silverwater Jail ahead of his sentencing. Paul was among dozens of witnesses who testified in the trial. The whereabouts of Lynette's body remains unknown. The cold case came into the public's attention decades on thanks to a podcast named Teacher's Pet. That podcast, which had to be taken off the internet during the trial, revealed new evidence which led police to charge Dawson with his missing wife's murder. Timeline: key events that lead to Chris Dawson's guilty murder verdict.